March 21st, 2021. Jamie hears gunshots at 1 a.m. This first photo is a picture of Windsong that Tom Hutchinson painted for me. Last night, someone kept calling Jamie's phone and hanging up. She said it happens all the time now since Tiger King aired. So, at 1 a.m., she was wide awake after a series of such calls when she heard 2 gunshots between her house and mine. There is a peninsula of land and a house between us, and a few days ago, while out by the pool, I'd heard the same thing. My first thought had gone to Jamie, but I remembered she wasn't home, so I resolved it must be the neighbor between us. They use the property for loud Latin parties, but I don't know if anyone lives there the rest of the time. It's pretty overrun with coyotes from the howling we hear, and coyotes who appear on our side of the river. Jamie called in a panic to see if we were okay, and I told her it was probably just the neighbor running off coyotes, despite wondering why it is they are shooting guns so frequently over there. I had not heard the shots, but my house is much better insulated than Jamie's, so that's probably why. We have been discussing putting double-pane glass in her place to help cut down on all of the noise from our boisterous neighbors. I'm going to try and buy the party houses again, the one just to the west of her and this one on the peninsula. I really want that peninsula, but I think it sold for close to $400,000 last time around, and the party house sold for $193,000 in 2011. It really needs a bulldozer taken to it, though, after years of utter neglect by the teenagers that have turned it into a cosplay camp. 270 media outlets have asked me for an interview in the past year, and I have done more than 60 of them, but I've started declining them again. After listening to The Secret again, I am reminded to stay focused on what I want, so I've been declining interviews to rehash the past, and telling them if they want to talk about the future, I'm all in. That led to one that I'm actively looking forward to. I've been invited by Rex Wallace to a virtual reality metaverse called Somnium Space for a VR meet and greet. Even though I want to keep the idea of zoos transforming into virtual location-based experiences, I have really enjoyed being isolated by COVID-19. I am such a recluse by nature, and this has just given me the perfect excuse to disconnect from people. Every day I tell myself I'm going to at least go out amongst the cats and do a Facebook Live, but every day I feel overwhelmed and make up some excuse not to do it. It's too cold, it's too hot, I might breathe on the cats, they might breathe on me. I know I'm making excuses to stay holed up in my office, but just haven't had anything compelling enough to make me go out and interact with people. Maybe it's because I'm still being mobbed by fans to and from the sanctuary. Yesterday, a dozen or more rollerblading fans were screaming my name and asking for selfies, but there were so many of them and they were acting really wild, so I just smiled, waved, and pedaled past them as fast as I could to keep anyone from catching up to me. I can't wait until our bill passes and I can fade into obscurity. To that end, I have arranged with Jamie to have a morning coffee once a week so we can work out together the future of the sanctuary and where we will live. She said this weekend's show in Sarasota was her biggest event yet, and she sold $450 in art and still has orders coming in on her Etsy site after handing out business cards. Speaking of cards, since there has been demand for my autograph, and it's so hard to get members of Congress to get off their hands and co-sponsor the bill, I started sending postcards of our cats to them saying, "Thank you for being a champion of the Big Cat Public Safety Act. You are one cool cat," and then my signature. By doing it on a postcard, I hope to create buzz at the Capitol, whereby aides want to secure an autograph for their boss by getting them signed onto the bill. If you're enjoying my diary, please like, share, and subscribe. You can find other ways to connect to me over at bigcatrescue.org/Carole.Baskin.